Okay, this is part 3 of More with CSS. We're just going to do a few more little touch-ups to tighten things up on our site. Beginning with this navigation. Now some of you might be looking at this, and if you're kind of like me, you're compulsive to center something like this. Yeah, it works okay with this being over here to the left, but if we want to center our navigation, let's come over to our nav styles. Pretty simple line of code. We just do text align :center, and we hit save. And there you go. Now your menu items are centered. That's going to be for there and the footer. Now I'm going to change something here in the footer, a couple things. One, this back to top button is kind of lost down here. I think it'll be better if I move it up into my text area. So let's go ahead and go to our HTML. I originally had this way down here at the bottom on its own paragraph outside the footer. So I'm going to take that out of the footer and bring that inside the content just before the main. I guess I can put it after the article. That way we have the back to top link in a better location. Hit refresh, there we go. I think that looks a little bit better. The next thing I want to do is this text here. I want to put it under these links and center it. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to change the order of the nav. So I originally had this paragraph in front of nav, and now I'm going to put it below. So I'll hit save. And I think that looks a little bit better. But it's still not centered, and it's a little hard to read. It's a little dark. I don't want to make it white. I don't need it too bright, but I think I want it a little lighter than that. So let's go ahead. And notice that this nav is pushing down this paragraph. You know, I'm wondering, I'm going to just try something. This is kind of crazy. But I'm going to put that text inside my nav. I don't know if that's going to break something or not. No, not too bad. I think that works. And now my nav is flush to the bottom as well. So I have my copyright text inside there. And then what else I can do is I can change the footer color of regular text. The link colors are controlled by the nav link styles, but I can add to my footer, I could add something to this in the style sheet. So in the nav area I have text align center, and notice that also by bringing that paragraph inside my nav, it's now also centered. So I don't need to center the footer anymore. But let's go down to our footer styles, and we can change the text color. And maybe we'll go with that light gray, the same that we have the background, and just see what that looks like. And hit refresh. That's a little bit better, and that might even be a little too dark, but we'll go ahead and leave it. I'm not too concerned. So now our nav items have nice spacing so that people can click on them with their fingers, and we've got things centered. Now the only other thing I got is maybe I don't want this margin to be so wide. So we had set this to 600 pixels and this one to 300. If this total is 1,000, then that gutter is probably 100. So I could maybe, if I wanted to take out maybe 40 of that, I could make this main 700. Now, if I made that 700, it would go all the way to the edge. So I could maybe make this 660 instead of 640, and that'll reduce the size just a little bit, or that gutter a little bit. And you could always play around with it. Maybe I'll make it 680, so it's a 20 pixel gutter width. So there we go, 680 pixels. Hit refresh, and that might look a little bit better. A little bit more consistent with the margins that I have going on between the navigation and the mains, and also the footer. Alright, so I think just like that, and we got something that looks much more like a website. So that's exciting, isn't it? The other thing we need to do that we didn't do in the last thing is add styles to our image tags. So we're going to do that next, because right now it's working, but when we had placed those images, where is it, right here, we had done what's called inline styles, right? So we don't want inline styles, this one right here. We're eventually going to want to take these out. And we're going to have to do it with two custom classes. So I'm going to come back to my styles. If it's something that I want to apply to both main and asides, I might want to go ahead and put these styles before my main styles. And we'll go ahead and go image styles. And these are just going to have custom classes. So this first one is going to be image left. And you can call these whatever you want. And this one will be image right. And we can really just use much of the same styling we had in the HTML. So we had float left. Let's actually just copy and paste this. I'm going to copy that and delete it. So we pull the style out of the inline style. We're going to bring it over here to the style sheet. I don't need style equals anymore, but I do need float. So it's going to float left. We'll have a margin right and a margin bottom. Don't need the double. And then we'll create one for image right in case we ever want one over on the right side. This time, instead of margin right, we'll have margin left. So we have two custom styles that we've created for our images. Let's go ahead and save that. Come back to our HTML code, and to our images, I need to apply a class. So we add class equals image left, and you can see that Dreamweaver already sees what they are and gives you a pop-up. So image class left, come down, I think I had another image, here it is. So we're going to pull out the inline style. This always works, and this actually trumps anything you do in your external style sheet. But this is inefficient code. This slows things down, and if you ever needed to make adjustments, let's say the boss says on all our images across the website, we need 15 pixels, not 20. Well, if you had hundreds of websites and you've custom put those styles in, you'll have to go to 100 pages and change the code from 20 to 15 100 times. Whereas if we have it in our style sheet, as long as we've got the class assigned, then we only have one place of edit. Alright, so I've updated that. Visually, we're going to see no difference here. There we go, it kept it exactly the way we had it. But it's now an external style, and if we ever needed to change it, like the boss says, 20 pixels, we need to make it 30 pixels, right? So all I have to do is come to my style sheet, and I change everything from 30 pixels right here, one place of edit, and I hit save, come back to my website, and it would change that padding or that margin throughout the entire website instantly. So very much more efficient. I'm going to change that back. I don't like the 30. Well, I don't know. The 30 is fine. We'll just keep it at 30 for now if you want to keep it at 30. Now there are some things like, look at how this word wraps funny over here. There's nothing you can do about that because of how, I mean, the text is just going to wrap however it is. So probably if you're wrapping text around an image, have plenty of it. Maybe it would be good to have more than this, content-wise, and then you wouldn't get these strange things. But there's, in the print world, yeah, I could change that and move it over here. But in the web world, I have to let the website design this, so there isn't anything I can do about that. All right, other than maybe add some content. I could always do that. And here's my source code with that first paragraph. I had story is told, 100-word story. Where is that for? It's the second. Much is bad. Philo the company of a number of friends in MS. They try to give him some advice. Some is good, and as you can probably, much too much is bad. And that's pretty much all there is to it for this webcomic. So I could certainly add content, that would help, and you'll have more text to wrap around, just like that. Alright, so that's it. So in this one, yeah, could we center this logo? We could. I'm not going to, but I'm sure you could figure out how to do it. If we, well, let's go ahead and do it. I hadn't planned on doing it, so I'm just doing this blind. So maybe we go to our header. Since it's inside the header, let's just see how things work if I just stylize the header and do text align, spell it correctly, center. I'm thinking this is going to work because in our header we've put the logo, we even put it inside paragraph tags to just give it another container. I probably didn't need the paragraph tags, and that adds more padding to my header than maybe I needed, but I like how this is, and let's just see, and there you go, that centers your logo as well on the page. So there you go. I will go ahead and save this and put this on D2L so you can download the final files for the webcomic and reference those styles for your own website. So a lot of things are working well here. We've replaced our inline styles with an external style sheet. We've created backgrounds to containers, even the background to the entire website. We've controlled the sizes of those containers. And there's more we're going to do eventually. We've stylized links and text. There's going to be more, especially once we get to responsive HTML. You'll notice right now, if I shrink this size too small, the website doesn't shrink with it. And we'll fix that eventually in our responsive HTML module. But that's it for more with CSS. Good luck with the project. Enjoy. Have fun.